Oh,
Good
yeah.
to see you.
So good to see you.
You're such a busy guy, can't even get an appointment with you.
I thought about you this morning.
I'll try to think of next time.
Yes.
My name's Fritz, and really grew up on the trading floors of Chicago, trading foreign currency futures and options, and then the S&P futures and options. In 1995, helped get started a company called Performance Trust. Our target audience was really the kind of underserved community banker. What we would do is we would teach them how to make great decisions, more than just basic banking. Gave me a little insight on how to help people invest better, and then kind of semi-officially we sold to an ESOP in 2020, and then I retired, and I've been doing other little projects ever since. Like this place here is our little venture we call the Guild. Started out as this vision for a bookstore, and it's morphed into this bigger project. I never would have thought I'd have 40 employees and full-time food service. Learning experience for sure. Not a restaurateur by any stretch. Really still love trading and always thinking like, how can I make more money? Like that's what a trader does. And so still like to do that. I still tithe, I still give money to my church, I still give money to the entities, but there's now this intersection of the two.
Generosity means a lot more than just giving grants to charities.
And melding that with the idea of using my time and talents and treasures for this purpose has been a change of thought process for me, I think. That's okay with you guys? I'll tell stories. Jeff and I went down to the DR with a group from a church. I've had frustrations with the way charitable giving and charitable things were being done. Pickaxe, mixing cement, I'm like standing around watching us do all this work. And I'm like, it just seemed really, really inefficient to me. And I think this is very typical of these types of mission trips. And I think we flew 30 people down there. I understand that there's a visceral response to that kind of situation, but instead of flying 25 people down here, why don't I just buy them, a backhoe? And then we could also hire local people to do the painting. When I heard about Partners Worldwide's approach to partnering with local businesses on the ground, that was really appealing to me. So the first time I went down there, we went to Mozambique. A lot of the business people they work with are farmers. And at first, Partners Worldwide took me to like a dairy farm and these different businesses that I had no knowledge of. But when I saw the banker in Mozambique, it was like the light bulb clicked. I was like, I can help this person. The mindset there is not the same as it is in the US because they just haven't had that history of banking, because there's no deposits, because there's no leverage, because there's no secondary loan market. What I found is these small businesses had no access to capital. Except for government officials, there's literally no mortgages. Purchasing loans is the same as day-to-day business. It's just natural, like just part of banking in the US and Europe and most of the developed world. That's mortgages. Even if you do a car loan that's being sold, and for Africa, it's just not done. So one of the things they run into trouble with, they'll have a small businessman. He's doing well and he's hiring 1 or 2 people. And then his loan amounts naturally, if they're successful, will go up. So what ultimately happens is the small microfinance does not have enough money to actually loan to other business people. So this really good customer, been a faithful payer, has grown to the size that they kind of almost graduate out of this institution. So the institutions end up losing their best customers. So we ended up with a pilot program, and we did about 300 loans. By buying that loan, we know the person's a good customer, we know they've repaid, we know their business is growing. It turns out they really pay. It's really access to capital is the important thing a lot of times for these people to get better. And the cool thing about this is we can recycle our money. So when I give $100,000 to this impact investment, it's getting used 3 or 4 times. It's not just going away, and I can shift my giving however I feel led. Through the help of Partners Worldwide, I've been uniquely able to partner with business in Africa, help them learn how to be better at their jobs through lending. What I do now is I spend time thinking about how we can get this fund better. If I reflect on it, God's calling subtly has pushed me towards this idea of taking my skills from 20 years in the investment banking industry. Now suddenly I'm finding myself in a world where there is no investment banking. There is no secondary loan market.